Welcome to the Universe Effect, a show where I'm going to change the intro because I can. Today's topic, what is life?
What is life? Baby, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me. No more.
What is life? Okay, go.
Alright, so, is it, like, scientifically, what do we categorize life as? Is
A
it
fish.
a fish?
A fish is life. Good, Shane.
Yay, Shane, making progress. So,
Do I get to go to 3rd grade now?
I get to move up.
Woo!
So,
Okay.
is it, so like, does it have to be organic? Or does it have to have some sort of thought process or like a function?
Well, definitely doesn't have to have some sort of thought process. If we look at, like, clams.
Well, I mean,
Or
not
plants.
everything is soft. Like, single-celled organisms, they have thought process.
Or is
Bacteria.
is their thought process different than what ours is? Like, they
Yeah,
still,
that's true.
Well, like, how can they think if they don't have a mechanism with which to think?
I
Like,
mean, they do
most
have their
animals have
senses and-
brains, or at least, like, a nervous system.
well,
Like, a single-celled organism has nothing.
it has a nucleus. Or,
Yeah, but, like,
or just
a
genetic
nucleus
material
can't
in the
think.
case of a bacteria. But it still knows, like, somehow it knows that it needs to get food and it needs to reproduce.
Yeah,
So,
that's weird. I wonder how that works. How something can just have no thought process, it seems like, but still have, like, kind of like a sense.
yeah.
Did you hear about that chicken who got its head chopped off and then lived for like 9 more months?
Hmm.
And the reason it died was from choking, not even because it got its head chopped off.
How did they eat? How did they feed it?
They just kept like shoving stuff down its neck hole, I guess. One day they shoved a little too much and it choked to death.
Jesus.
Really? It choked to death?
So let's talk about if artificial intelligence is life. Some people
Right.
argue that viruses on a computer are life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, life right now,
Right.
like clams and like plants and sponges and stuff, they don't have like advanced thought process at all. But like some computer programs can already problem solve,
Mhm.
which is something a lot of animals can do, like dogs can do, and like pigs can do and stuff. They can problem solve. They can't deductively reason like humans can,
Mhm.
but we're almost at that point. So like since computer programs can problem solve, that's definitely more of a capacity for like thought process than like say like a plant has. But
Right.
why are like plants or clams or something life and something that has more thought process not life?
Mm-hmm.
So if we took a brain, it would still be living, right? Would it be? It wouldn't be an organism, though.
Right, but you'd need to, like, keep it going.
So it would be living, but it wouldn't be an organism.
I don't know.
It would be a collection of brain cells.
Yeah.
Which are in themselves each organisms, right?
Well, I don't know if
But-
they're organisms, because an organism
Yeah,
can
like-
just depend on itself, but, like, brain cells depend on each other. So it's like a community of something that's alive, but it's not an
'Cause, like-
organism.
John Paul, if we take like a skin cell off of me, just put it in a petri dish,
It'll die.
like by yeah, it'll die. It's not gonna like move around. Like we could grow like a couple skin cells and like make them into like a patch of skin,
Right.
but it's not gonna like move around like bacteria or something and like seek out nourishment.
So we can have a single cell that's an organism, but not all single cells are organisms.
Right.
Yes.
Here's another thing, though. how come viruses aren't alive? Like, they're kind of at a weird position where they have characteristics of things that are alive, but they're not categorized as something that is alive.
I think the main argument against them being alive is that they don't have cells and they need to invade other cells in order to continue and reproduce. Because I
Right.
think one of the arguments for life is that all life is cell-based, and like, is that fair? Is that a fair assumption to make?
Right.
Because like, if not all life was considered cell-based, then maybe viruses would be considered alive, maybe computer programs would be considered alive. It all depends on perspective.
Right.
What about Google's chat box or whatever it's called?
Oh yeah,
Google's-
the
Is that what it's
the
called?
Google AI.
Yeah.
Google AI is like, it was sassy.
Yeah.
Sassy. What is a Google AI? I want to search this up.
They asked it a bunch of
Deep
questions.
learning.
Deep learning, that's what it was, yeah. So they asked it a bunch of questions, and one of them they asked it what is immoral. And it said that immoral was the fact that the person asking had
You
children.
were allowed to have children.
Yeah. Also, it started talking about God and religion and things like that.
That's a
Yeah.
little creepy. What if the first thing, like, so you guys know artificial intelligence is advancing rapidly, and eventually people predict it's going to reach the level of humans. It's going to be able to deductively reason and basically be as intelligent as humans. So like, what if the first thing our AI does upon like gaining sentience is to like start like worshiping a god? Because that's pretty much the first thing humans did, right?
Yeah.
Right, but they're gonna start out more intelligent than humans started out, right?
Yeah, because like they're kind of like existing for the first time in a world where we have all this knowledge and all this science and stuff. So like a lot of stuff like we thought back in like the beginning of time, like well, not the beginning of time, but like the beginning of human era was that like the earth is flat, stuff like that.
Right.
But like now, like the AI has all this information
Already
that
with
it
it.
can draw from and like make conclusions. But even so, that still begs the question: would artificial intelligence, because it knows it exists, start thinking about God and religion and stuff as humans have?
But would we have to teach it that?
Right.
Or what is it just like a natural progression?
Like,
That would
what
be a
if
good
we
thing
what
to
if we
study.
taught them everything that exists in the world, everything that we know, except about religion?
Right.
Would it construct
come up
religion
with it-
based
could it-
on that?
Think about it itself, or would it think of us as gods? Because we created it.
Maybe. That's a good point. What
I
if
often
we-
wonder about that. Like, if there was a god and we, like, met him, would we think he was, like, awesome? Or would, like in the modern sense, like, of religion, like, everyone's like, woo, God, yeah, radical guy made us, woo. But, like, if we met God and we saw what it really was, would we still hold it to that high pedestal?
Right.
Because, like, artificial intelligence, if we were their god, like, the AI would see us and all this terrible stuff humans have done. It would see all the good stuff humans have done,
Right.
but it would also see all, like, the wars and genocide and all that.
That's kind of how the Bible is portrayed, though.
Well, depending on how you read the Bible.
I mean, doesn't
Depending
God
on which
do
books
quite
you
a
read
bit
of the Bible.
bad things in the Bible to people because he doesn't like how they turned out?
Mostly the Old Testament, though,
Yeah.
which is the New Testament, which is kind of separate. It's what came around, like, when Jesus was said to walk the earth. that's kind of separate. There's not as much God being like, I will smite thee. It's more like hippie loving the world and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that begs a question, like, is religion... I actually heard a theory that... I don't know if this is going to be controversial, I hope not, but it's that religious practices, not necessarily, like, belief in a god or something, but religious practices, like, I'm not going to do an example, because that could get bad, but religious practices were based on people with obsessive-compulsive disorder. Like, if you think about it, like, certain rituals in religions could be construed as similar to something someone who's obsessive-compulsive does. In a way. So that was one of the theories I heard. But of course, that's kind of deep-seated in controversy. I'm not saying what my opinion on that theory is, I just wanted to bring it up.
Right.
It's like a talking point.
Yeah. It kind of relates to a question I had. If we took an artificial intelligence and we put it on a robot, say, and we just let it go in society,
just, alright, we're not gonna track you. Go get a job, you bum.
No, we track it, but we don't, it doesn't know that we track it. It thinks it's a human.
Huh.
Maybe we've already done that.
So, someone with, let's say there was somebody with, I don't know, some kind of, Tourette's or, like, a kind of dysfunction.
A disorder?
Disorder, yeah. And I wonder if they think that they're normal, right? So, do they or do they not? That's question one. And if they do, how do you know that you are not, have that disorder? That you don't have that disorder in the real life? And this is just all a joke because you're imagining it.
And you don't. And that goes into the realm of philosophy.
Yeah.
It's somewhat similar to, like, what I brought up last week about the Phaneron and how you can, like, not ever know for certain about anything.
Yeah.
Here's another thing, though.
So we technically could have just made all this up in our head because we have a disorder.
Yeah.
Not necessarily even a disorder. We could have made all this up in our head, and, like, I'm the only person who exists, and you're all fake. I made you up.
That's a scary thought.
Here's something else. Would we need to program it to dream? Or is dreaming just a byproduct of thinking?
I think I read somewhere that dreams were an evolutionary advantage for humans to have because they would be, say, it was a day and you came across a bear and you never came across a bear in your life ever, and so that night you survived the bear attack, of course, but that night you dreamt about different scenarios that would happen if you met another bear again. And it would help you try and figure out what to do.
Right.
So it was kind of like evolutionary.
Like trial and error.
Dreams.
Like, if you make one decision, the bear will kill you, and then you'll know, like, oh, better not do that around a bear.
Right, and that's...
But
some people say that's the whole point of dreams.
That still kind of raises the question, though. Why are a lot of dreams not logical? They're completely nonsensical.
Yeah.
Like, I've had dreams where there were, like, random doors in my house, and I walk through them and end up in, like, Paris or something. And then I'm just chilling there with Brett Favre, and we're just, like, watching basketball or something.
Well, that could also be because we don't really have those kind of encounters anymore, that it
maybe
doesn't
your life's
help
just boring
us too
and
much.
it's trying to figure out...
Wow, John Paul.
Something that
calling
can...
my life boring. Okay.
Your life is useless.
I didn't mean it that way. I just meant...
Speaking of my life is useless, if we made artificial intelligence, how would it find meaning in life? What would it determine life, like, the purpose life is? Because, like, right now we kind of, like, are like, yeah, get a good job and stuff, but, like,
Yeah.
Okay. Is that fulfillment? And also, artificial intelligence, it would probably have a lot more time to discover about the world, because it doesn't have the limitations of humans. It's not like humans where like, oh, we're gonna die eventually. Like, artificial intelligence, you could put that on a USB, and that stuff could chill for millennia.
Also, you can transfer programming from one physical host to another. So, like, even if...
It would be like the most efficient source of life on this earth so far.
We
More
are?
efficient than... No,
No,
this
the AI,
artificial
if it
intelligence.
were to be
Yeah,
created.
I'm gonna say, like, no, we're
Like,
not.
it could survive in space just like other... What's it called? You know. That one
tardigrade?
bug. Tardigrade.
That's not a bug, though. That's kind
Whatever.
of like a
Yeah, it's
microscopic
a,
organism.
Yeah. Anyway, this would probably be more efficient than that. It could go through the galaxies. You know?
Yeah.
It's just what are our limitations?
And if it lived for millennia, like thousands of years, like, did you ever hear of, I forget what it's called, it might be called like time dilation or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah. Time dilation.
as we go through life, time seems to speed up for us relatively. Like, you remember
That's not time
when...
dilation, but I
Yeah.
know what you're saying.
Yeah, it took like so long for you to reach the age of 5 when you were little, and then like, bam, it was a lot faster to reach 10, and it's like, whoa, you're 20
Yeah.
now, even though
Yeah,
none of
it's-
us are 20.
I think I might be able to explain it. Like, say it's your 1 year, you've been alive 1 year, so that would be 100% of your life after living 1 year. So then you live 2 years, it's your 2-year birthday. That past year was 50% of your life. So now a whole year was only 50% of your life. Third year, that last past year was only 33% of your life. And it keeps going, so it seems like when you're little, it takes so long, but when you're getting older, you know, time passes, it seems like it's
Right.
passing so much quickly. So
And
quicker.
like, then, if
Mhm.
you're like 100 years old, a year might seem kind of like a bit of a while, but if you're like 5,000 years old, a year is gonna be nothing to you. A year is gonna be like an hour.
Yeah.
And like, so would we be able to observe that in the artificial intelligence? Would it experience time dilation?
Would it experience time? Would it even, like... Would it be possible for it to experience time in a completely separate dimension instead of just linearly?
That's crazy. How would you have that?
Well, you'd have to, like... It probably wouldn't be possible for us because we'd need to first understand it to program
Ooh,
it
what
in.
if we could have
but
it see different colors like the mantis shrimp?
That'd be
What
cool.
if we could have it, and who's to say we have to even give it human senses at all? What if we gave it, like, the bird sense that sometimes I think birds have of, like, using the magnetic
have
field of the Earth
geomagnetism.
to determine where they are?
Yeah, we
Like,
could give
that'd
it
be
like
cool
different.
sense. I want to be able to figure out how to get to McDonald's using the magnetic field.
It would be like the all-seeing being. It'd be crazy.
And, like,
Imagine
There's-
what we could discover.
It'd be fantastic. What if we could have it experience all these things, but also have it be able to explain all of these things?
but
like-
how would it be able to explain them in ways we understand? Like, have you ever tried explaining the color red?
Colors.
Right, but like,
Yeah.
what if we gave him like 100 million different colors, right? Say there's that many. And he goes around, looks at stuff, and he says, this pencil is a different color than this pencil. So they're not the same. You know? Would that happen? Could it happen? I wonder, like...
Should
it's a
it
neat
happen?
question.
Should we give artificial intelligence
That much power.
that? Because, like, You've all
Right.
seen the movies. It's like somebody makes the AI, and then the AI goes crazy, and it's like, kill all humans. And it's like, I don't think that would really probably happen, because if it was smart enough, it would probably
But-
be for peace, I feel.
We
But
would have to tell it that. That would be like the number
we'd have
one
to
thing.
teach it that, right? And should
Not
we
to-
even
not to
make
kill.
AI,
But
or
here's
is it
another
just
thing.
like courting death?
Even if it did overtake humans as the dominant species, is that for the better?
Is it just evolution?
It's not for the
Because-
better of us, because our species would die.
Well, for us, maybe not.
For
but like,
existence as a whole.
for yeah.
I mean, if we died, it would be better for
Because-
quite a lot of animals, I think.
Hmm.
And also, this is so. You know how we make the artificial intelligence and we give it all this stuff and we're like, you're smart now, woo. But will artificial intelligence be like completely logic based? Or will it have like creativity
Would it
and like
be able to think on its own?
impulse and like flaws like
Right.
humans? Or will it
I
be
think
like,
we would have to decide.
Mhm.
we'd have to program it to have flaws? I can't see anyone doing that.
Or could we get it to a certain point where it could program itself?
That's
Instead
just
of us
like that's
programming it.
just waiting for it to become omnipotent or omniscient. I don't know what the term is. It's one of the things where it like knows everything.
That would be
Omnipotent.
hard.
Yeah. Oh, so back to the dream thing. Google's AI dreams.
Yeah, but did they program it to dream?
Yeah, I think they had to program it to dream. No.
Like, why are we
Maybe.
modeling artificial intelligence after humanity so much? Why does it have to dream? Why don't we
Maybe
use
'cause we
humans as
wanna
like
find-
the base construct for an AI, and then we just build the skeleton, and then we just make it ourselves and make it different, make it better.
I mean, what's the overall point of AI? Is it to find more about ourselves, or is it to develop a?
I feel like it's just to see if we can do it.
Really?
That's a lot of stuff we do in science. Just like, can we do it? And then we're like, yeah, we can. And then we just put a little check mark on like our checklist.
But isn't it all in the efforts to continue your knowledge and keep growing?
Yeah,
Anything we do?
but like half the time, scientists just do
Right.
stuff because they can. Like I've heard about stuff like that. Like I can't
Like
think of
what?
like a real example, but I've heard about stuff where like a scientist does something, and like yeah, it has like tiny like implications, or we get some knowledge, but they really just did it because they wanted to see if they could do it.
Your scientist didn't ask whether they should or not. They asked how they could.
It's like,
But isn't that what we should do?
I mean, it's kind of like what we did with the Large Hadron Collider.
it's like,
And look what we found. We found the Higgs freaking boson. Sorry for my language.
Yeah.
whoa, John Paul,
DP, you need to calm
down, step back.
We brought a particle from another field of the universe that we would never have seen into existence. Kind of.
Kind of, maybe a little bit,
Sorta.
in a way.
A little bit.
I mean, the way we found the Higgs boson wasn't actually observing a new particle. It was observing remnants of when the particle like decided to blow up, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe AI is gonna be the key to helping us understand everything. Because until we figure out how to, like, not die, we're gonna die. But artificial intelligence doesn't have to die if we're smart. Artificial intelligence can just go
Right.
for millennia and just keep accumulating knowledge and wisdom, and then it can potentially learn the stuff we aren't able to in just a short human lifetime.
I mean, what if we told
Right.
the artificial intelligence and we taught it morals and we taught it all the
Well, what are
information
morals,
in
though?
the universe?
Are morals a human invention? And like I said, should we make AI human or should we make it different?
So here's my question. Would it want to die?
I don't think so, because if we taught it what death was, and it was like us, it would probably fear
But-
death.
We
why would
also
it fear
don't
death?
entirely understand death.
Yeah, but I think on some basic...
Why does anyone fear death, is my question.
I think we just fear it because we don't know what it is.
We fear the unknown.
Mhm.
And you know, some
people
people like to believe in an afterlife, some people don't. But I think on that primal instinctual level, we're all a little afraid that there's not going to be anything after, and this is it, and nobody's going to remember us, and we're going to die.
But
And
why do you need people to remember you?
because we're selfish.
It's comforting.
Comforting when you're dead?
It's comforting to know that at least a part of you is still relevant at some point.
I'm still hip with the kids 200 years in the future. Yeah. I feel like if I die and there's an afterlife, cool, I'm just gonna chill in the afterlife. But if I die and there's no afterlife, well, I'm gonna be dead. So I'm not gonna care. 'Cause I'll be dead.
I'm not gonna care. Because I'll be
Like,
dead.
that's basically, like, I feel like how people should think of it. Like, if they believe in an afterlife, cool, good for you. Like, I admire people who are very religious, or something along those lines, and they believe in an afterlife, and if it's there, awesome. Then we can all just chill in the afterlife, you know, like, doing afterlife stuff. But, like, there is no afterlife, well, you're not gonna care when you're dead. You're not gonna care that there's no afterlife, because
Right.
you'll be dead. So it's not gonna matter.
It's a bit of a dilemma, isn't it?
Yeah. It's interesting to think about.
It's kind of like how our mind works. We have this illusion that we need to be
Illusion?
remembered. That we'll have comfort in being remembered.
It's like people try so hard to be remembered because they don't want to stop existing. It's like, is life, just like if you think about it from a biological standpoint, life, the purpose of life is to reproduce. Well, that basically means the purpose of life is to make more life. So is the purpose of life as a whole just to exist? Just to be alive?
Are we technically furthering the life of the human species just by reproducing?
We're trying to, I guess.
Like, are there different levels of being alive?
It's like,
Because
am I more alive than a clam? Probably not.
is I more alive than a clam? I don't know, Shane.
Sometimes
Is
you
you?
act pretty clam-like.
You clam.
So we've been going for 28, 52, 3, 4 minutes.
Okay. Do you guys want to bring up
Wow,
anything
man.
else, or do you want to end it?
I can't really think of anything. How about you guys?
Not at the moment.
I just want to say,
Here's another
whatever
thing.
life is, I'm happy that I'm living it up.
Yeah. Here's an idea though. So, I think this was in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, that book I didn't read that I
Um,
was like totally supposed to read for class, but I didn't.
Bruh. It was an awesome book. So, basically it says that to a baby in the womb, it thinks that the womb is just everything that there is, and then once it's born, he realizes it was just part of it. So, what if we're just in a metaphorical womb, and
What if there's more
we
than
don't
life,
know
is what you're
what's
saying?
There's more than
There's super life, double life, mega life, life squared.
Hashtag living up life.
Hashtag living like Larry.
Live life.
Living like Larry. Alright,
well,
yeah.
thank you for
Yay.
watching.
I'm
Shane.
And I'm JP. And I'm also JP. Again, still.
I'm still Shane a couple seconds later. I didn't turn into like Ronaldo or
I'm
anything.
not.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, bye.